you. She said, right now I'm looking at you, Samia, and I see our Blessed Mother behind you. You will travel the world, and you will always take her with you. It's like I'm her instrument. And so, and I didn't understand what that meant, really, because I never knew that one day, I knew I'm going to become an attorney. I never knew I'm going to be traveling to Mexico, which I already done, to talk about my experience. I'm in Idaho talking about my experience. I never even heard of Pocatello before, you know, like with my respect. But you know what I'm saying? It's God's plan. So you see these things. And when she said that to me, I didn't understand her. I really didn't understand what she said. And then she continued to talk and gave us names of saints to learn more about them. But after that, we couldn't leave. We were still doubting Thomas, like you call them. We said, what are we going to do? Our bus leaves in a couple of minutes. Do we leave? Or do we go verify if there's a trick to this cross? So we stayed. We said, we need to go in daylight. There has to be a trick to this. Still doubting. We went up to the mountain in daylight now, and there was no way that cross, it was pure, thick cement. And we came down from the hill, from the mountain, and God puts in our lives now these young men from England, who one of them was completely, before, had a life on drugs, worshiped the devil, sang song to that. It's very satanic. He said he made a promise to his mom to go to Medjugorje because his mom was dying. And ever since he's been there, he's had a huge conversion. And he's been living there for 3 months. And now he's writing music for the Lord. And so we started hearing their stories. And then they said to us, girls, you can't leave. God showed you a miracle. You happen to be here on June 20th, which is 4 days before the anniversary. There's people coming from all over the world. You've got to stay at least for the anniversary. To make this story short, we end up staying 1 week. During that week, I was in church one day, and this is what happened to me. And this is the first time I've ever experienced something like that. Even though I'm Catholic, I really didn't know my faith. Didn't know my faith at all. I didn't know what the rosary was. I just knew my basic prayers. I didn't know what was going on in Mass. I didn't understand what the Eucharist is, which what we believe as Catholics is truly the presence of the Lord Jesus.
Really? You didn't?
I didn't know that. I mean, that's how ignorant I was. Wow. But I need to say that because of how much the Lord has brought me today. I knew things, knowledge, you memorize them, but that doesn't mean you know them in your heart or you've experienced them. So when I was 20 years old, I didn't have that connection with God. When I was before what they call adoration hour, where you're before the Blessed Sacrament for an hour, I was kneeling on my legs in a little tiny place that I could find in the hallway, not the hallway, in the between the aisles in the church. And this is the experience that I will never forget. I was by myself, and all of a sudden, you know, they're praising the Lord, and the Blessed Sacrament is before us. And I remember all of a sudden, I started experiencing this incredible, incredible heat consume me, like I was on fire. But it was a heat that was from the inside. And for the first time in my life, I felt so loved. This love that all I could do was put my head on the ground of the church and start weeping and weeping and weeping and weeping. And I knew for the first time in my life, even though nobody was talking to me, I was just before the Lord, that the Blessed Sacrament, the Eucharist that's in front of me is truly, truly Jesus. I knew that beyond a shadow of a doubt. And then I knew right there, even though I don't remember being taught it in this way, that Jesus died for me on the cross, for me personally, not for the world, but for all of us personally. Even if I was the only person alive, he loved Samia, just like he loves Andrea, loves Sonia, loves you, Hank, in such a personal way that he would have died even if we were the only people alive. And then that knowledge that came into my heart about his love for me, I just couldn't stop weeping. I stayed on that ground for 2 hours. There was a puddle of water. It's like these healing tears, you know, the purifying tears. It's like he was consuming me with his love. And I knew that my life was not worthless like I believed, that there was a value for me, that I was not an accident, that I was born with a purpose, that my life was worth his blood. And I remember getting up there out of the pew after that, and I knew my life would never be the same. That is when I encountered his love in my heart that was life-changing. And nothing can take that away from me. Nothing. No one can take that away. I couldn't have learned about it either.
You went through that transformation during that heat, where the heat through your body. There was a transformation that was going on
within me.
Within
And
you.
that was the love of God.
It was God's love consumed me. I mean, I actually, at one point, I felt if he would turn up the heat a little bit, I might not survive it. It was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to handle. It was that much love that, you know, it was beyond my comprehension, because I've never experienced that before. And I didn't even know it existed, really. I wasn't the spiritual person that would read about people's experiences. So I didn't even know. Nobody told me about it. I experienced it. And when I experienced it, I knew I could never look at my life the same way again. I knew my life would never be the same again.
So that was your transformation. You know, we got a guest, one of the Bowery Boys is here. His name is John Klein. This is
I'm Samia.
Samia.
Hi, John.
And he's one of the Bowery Boys from the community. I just wanted to, and I forgot yours.
Andrea.
They're from Twin Falls, actually, visiting here in Pocatello.
I would have been here earlier, but Hank informed me that we were doing the first couple hours in Spanish.
Right.